Oh my God, that fell out of my hand. All right, we're gonna do Huia again.
It actually stays in the field.
Should stay in the field. What's good, everyone? Eric Oakley here. We're back with another Building the Bag series, and we have one on fairway drivers. I really like fairway drivers. This is actually the mold and speed that I was throwing the most this past season. I was actually leaning on these more than I was my distance drivers. I can get good distance out of these. They feel really good in the hand, and in the right conditions, I can push them out there super far. So this is that slot in these like 7-speed-ish type of fairway drivers where I really don't forehand these. So these are mainly just for good backhand shots. They're good in the woods. They're good on some open courses whenever I'm really trying to control the distance or not have a lot of play left and right. So fairway drivers are one of my most fun discs to throw, and I'm excited to jam on a bunch of different ones, things that I've thrown in the past, and a bunch of new stuff that I'm super excited about. Let's get right into it. First up, I got the Discraft Passion. Paige Pierce has got me throwing this disc a little bit more. It says it's an 8-speed, but to me feels a little bit slower than that. But that's just, I think, in that, I don't know, the rim doesn't feel that big. And it's flatter, so this actually might be good for some forehands. But again, I'm really looking in this slot not to forehand much and just throw it nice and straight. I've heard rumors that this flies like a buzz, but in a fairway driver form. It's got a unique kind of outer edge where it's almost like a kind of a notch right on this underside, but you don't really feel it when you're holding it on a backhand grip. Overall grip feels really good. From what I've thrown of these so far, it's a really fun disc to throw, so just keep jamming. Try and give most of these a slight hyzer release and just let them fly. Ooh, that flipped up wonderfully. A little fade at the end. That was dope. That was really nice. Not as much fade, not as much turn. Kind of probably very true to the numbers in the Passion. Very easy to throw, comes out clean, but again, doesn't feel overly fast. So I can understand why it's like kind of a fan favorite as well, because you don't need a big arm speed to throw it, and you can just kind of let the disc do the work. It's really nice. Next up, I have the ThoughtSpace Votum. I am loving this disc as a kind of stays straight for a really long time, but has a nice reliable fade at the end. It's a disc that I feel like I can work angles, and I feel really, really confident throwing the Votum in the woods and in the open air. I really feel like I can stretch this out a little bit and not have to worry about how much power I put into it. Loving this disc. And engage fade. Look at that fade. I love it. Oh, God, I love that. I don't know why, but you'll see when I get to it, but there's a disc that complements that perfectly where I throw it the same and it doesn't fade as much. So I get these two totally different flights, but with two similar flights, but with the ending being the difference. So I can get, I can shape two different shots, but like my body can move the same for both. So it's really, really fun. So I'm excited to get into that. But first up, we got the Latitude 64 Explorer. This is a disc that I was jamming on a bunch in my time at Dynamic. Really, really good fairway driver. If you haven't thrown an Explorer, I don't know what you've been doing. You've probably just been living under your T-Birds or something like that. But definitely get out and try this disc. The Explorer is super good. I think I have other discs that I'm liking more now that I've tried some other stuff. But if you're looking for a good straight fairway, this is a great option. Ooh, that came out early. Get under the tree. Beat it. Woo! Trees are 90% air. Oh, that one came out a little bit early. Had a really nice flight though. Hopefully we'll get one to be more in the fairway next time. But again, easy, effortless glide. You can put a lot of power on the Explorer. Really, really nice disc. It kind of comes down to how it feels in your hand if you like it. And one that complements it is the Dynamic Disc Evader. This is a kind of, I would call it a shallow Explorer. I feel like they have I'm gonna get a very similar flight to that Explorer, but with just a different feel. Like this feels a little bit, like maybe a tick faster. The Explorer's a 7-speed, this is a 7.5 speed, if you will, not even an 8-speed. Really, really nice. I was jamming on Evaders a ton, so just hit it. Very similar flight, held the hyzer the whole time. It's pretty money. So this is the one I was excited to talk to you guys about, the Infinite Discs Exodus. This and the Votum, I think, is the perfect complement. You've heard of people throwing a T-Bird and an Eagle when they're very similar in flight, but this is what I get out of, this is my T-Bird, super, super straight, super reliable, where the Votum is my Eagle, where I get a little bit more fade and finish at the end, where I know I can trust when I need to get left, I'm gonna throw the Votum. When I need to be straight, I'm gonna throw the Exodus. So that's been the perfect complement so far. So really liking this as a dead straight type disc. There's no fade engaged in that thing, dude. Flies like a mid, but it's a fairway. It's so nice. So nice. Ah, gosh, I love it. The Exodus has quickly become one of my favorite fairways to throw. Reminds me of some of the Explorers that I had that were slightly seasoned in, but I get that out of the box, which is super, super fun. On to the next. We got the Legacy Discs Rival. This thing, I remember watching AJ Risley throw this back in the day. He was throwing it, this is like, I think the numbers are more similar to a T-Bird, if you will, but this to me feels more like an Eagle. This is flatter, decent depth, but I feel like I'm gonna have some bite on this one. We'll see. Again, we're gonna keep to that slight hyzer release. It is really straight. It's a T-Bird.
What's that fairway?
Whoa!
It's a T-Bird.
The Rival, I think, was designed with that in mind, but to be dead straight, it felt more stable than it threw, and again, that kind of reminds me of why I was so surprised by the Hunter in the throwing putter section and the putting putter section, is that I was expecting some finish or expecting some fade, but it just kind of kept flying. So I'm going to be excited to throw that Rival a little bit more and maybe give it a little bit of height to see what we can actually do with it. The Yukon Phoenix in the Foo plastic, or it's the Yukon Foo in the Phoenix plastic. Either way, this is a Yukon disc that feels, it says the numbers are very similar to, again, that T-Bird type slot, that traditional 7-speed disc. This feels like it might be a little bit more understable. It's got a big dome on it, big poppy dome. So I feel like this is gonna have incredible glide. Hit it with a little bit of hyzer and see what she does. Ooh, that flipped up nice. Wow, that came out good. I'm gonna be intrigued to see what happens if I hit that one flat and like trying to get it to hold a turn, because maybe it might be not in that stable slot, but it might be in the more slightly understable slot.
Plastic is Phoenix.
Plastic is Phoenix. So that was the Yukon Foo. Awesome, thank you, Zach.
Thanks for looking it up.
Yep. Here's another disc from Infinite that has been that I've been loving and has been surprising me. This is the Centurion. I was looking for a disc that reminded me of like an S-Line FD. and I didn't have to go and hunt down and find S-Line FDs. And Alex Tews and a couple of the guys at Infinite were just like, yo, try the Centurion, try this out, you're gonna like it. It's a really good disc. And I was like, oh, is it really? I felt like I could do the same thing with an Exodus, but the more I threw this, the more I started to understand. So this is when I want turn, when I want that, like, when I want that reliability from a hyzer to stay up, to not fade or not have anything, to actually drift some right, I can throw the Centurion. So good. If you like leopards, you're gonna love the Centurion. I mean, notice from a slight hyzer, it just peeled up to flat, was pulling a little bit right, but not much, but didn't have any fade at all. That's why I like that disc, is whenever I want it to turn, I go a little less hyzer, maybe even flat, and just trust it, and it holds over for a really long time. Can't wait to show you. One of my favorite people to watch play, Anthony Barella, the T-Bird 3. I had to really test these out. I have not thrown a T-Bird in years. So I'm excited to kind of rip on these. I've watched these been thrown. T-Bird 3s are good. Like, I mean, really, you're really gonna say no to this as a fairway driver? You have to give this an option and know that, you know, the beauty of having this as an option is I can bag a T-Bird at any point this year and it's fine. So I don't have to like always bag it. But if I know I need a shot that'll complement this, it'll be really good. This feels nice and stable, so hopefully from this hyzer, we're gonna see that good stable flight. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. That's effortless flight right there. A T-Bird's good. Like, if you're ever looking for a fairway driver, and you're just grab a T-Bird. But if you're wanting to branch out and try some stuff that are a little bit different from a T-Bird, that's when we start jumping into like, okay, cool, I want something that's a little straighter, I'll throw a Centurion. Or, oh, I want something that feels a little bit different, I'll throw an Exodus. And you get the same flight. That's kind of the coolest part about it, is like we had the T-Bird as this mold that kind of designed the concept for what 7-speeds should be, or fairway drivers should fly like, and a staple. And I think that's why the T-Bird will always be good. It's a staple. RPM is just trying to get me to say things in the weirdest way. Huia, I hope that's right. H-U-I-A. This is another, it's similar in so we'll call it the staple numbers, the T-Bird numbers. Feels a little bit deeper in the rim, but plastic feels really nice. Yeah, I just wanna send it. Let's find out. Go again, slight hyzer, see what we get out of it. That is a lot more stable than I expected. Wow. Interesting. Oh yeah. Let's go get him and let's hit him again. All right, so I think these four I'm already gonna say that I am gonna be okay not having in my bag. Huia is fun, really overstable, super surprising, good feel, but not for me. The Evader, I've put enough time in with this disc that I think I've found other discs that I like just a little bit more. Great fairway from Dynamic. If you're looking for something nice and straight, you love the DD plastic, grab it. The Legacy Rival, I think it just comes down to the feel. Isn't exactly what I'm looking for this straighter slot. So yeah, and the Foo. I think both are awesome discs, but the Foo is a little more understable than I was expecting. So I wouldn't call it a 0.2. I'd probably call it a -1.1, maybe even less than that, maybe a -2.1, if you will. But very plastic, feels nice, but again, not what I'm looking for. So we're gonna throw some back. We're gonna throw a couple straight shots with the more stable discs, like the Explorer, the Exodus, like these four. Explorer, Exodus, and Votum and T-Bird that I'm going to be throwing nice and straight, just trying to keep them on a frozen rope as long as I can. Where I have the Passion and the Centurion, which I'm going to throw kind of at the same gap, but really try and play and get them to hold the turn the whole time and show that effortless, like sweeping left to right moving shot. All right, let's do it. Start with straight stuff. That's pretty straight. Not bad, not bad. Still came out a little early. I don't know, I think if I'm throwing the Explorer, it's like, again, I think it's the depth of the Explorer, like a Exodus and a Votum and even a T-Bird feel a little bit better in the hand. But the flight of the Explorer is fantastic. So it's really hard to beat. The T-Bird's more stable than I'm giving it credit for. It's like really hitting the gap nicely, but it's peeling left. I want a little bit more, just like stand up from that hyzer play. See if the Exodus can do it. That's got more stand up. That's a true flight of the boat up there. Money. Sweet. All right, we're gonna throw the turnover. Why we came over here, so we wanna throw this turnover nice and high, let it peel out pretty hard to the right. Really show, I think that this is what this Passion can do, even though it doesn't feel like it's that understable of a disc that will hold this, definitely has been flying like that so far. Yeah, that's sick. That's really nice. That's a long sweeping turnover if I've ever seen one. Got it up there nicely. And I think it might just come down to feel. So I think I can do the same thing with the Centurion. It just takes, but feels a more like the shot in my hand, if that makes sense. So see if we can replicate that same thing with the Centurion. I mean, pretty similar.
That's a pretty flight.
You'll love to see it. That's why I like that disc for that slot. High turnover, holds the whole time, is never burning into the ground. And after I beat it up, it might be turned into a really nice roller where it beats up. I can throw those big high shots and get these more stable rollers. Centurion, so good. All right, so for the 7-speed fairways and the middle speed fairways, we're gonna give some honorable mentions. The Discraft Passion, super surprising, really like throwing it. Definitely gives me some options, and I could see myself having it, kind of in and out of the bag as depending on what the Centurion is doing, if I need a little bit of a different feel for some shots. And I might even try this one out for some forehand throws too, to really see if I get that nice little flip up, because it does feel pretty good because it is flatter. But not gonna be in the bag all the time, but loved throwing it and enjoyed that. The Explorer has been a disc that I've used off and on for a while now, and it's definitely there as an option if I ever need it. Yeah, Latitude 64 got a real gem in a disc here in the Explorer, super good. But the three that are for sure making the bag, the Centurion from Infinite Discs, the feel in my hand is really good. This run, I think this is Glow Metal Flake, happened to be on the more overstable side. I was very surprised with just about how much stability this thing had, but I have one that's slightly seasoned gets a little bit more easy to get that that turn and that play. So I know that this one is going to age like a fine wine, and it's going to be really nice. You saw it on that big high turnover, how it held nicely the whole time without burning into the ground. Super, super great in the Centurion. Another Infinite Mold, the Exodus. This is the Color Glow Metal Flake as well. This is a little bit flatter, feels really good. I'm getting that dead straight flight out of my hand and trusting it. I can throw a slight hyzer and I feel like it stays straight. Even though it's on a hyzer, it's still moving straight. And I think the feel of this, because kind of has the feel of an eagle, but flies like a T-bird, and it's super, super nice. So Exodus was a absolute winner in my book, and the Thought Space Votum. To complement that Exodus, when I want a little bit more bite, throw it with a little bit of hyzer. This just, I know, once it starts to slow down and lose its speed, it breaks a little bit harder left. You love to see it. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Stay tuned for the 9 speeds and the distance drivers. If you haven't checked out the other videos of the Building the Bag series, this has been super, super fun. I'm also going to be wrapping all of this up with a full in the bag of what I'm going to probably be bagging for Vegas and beyond. And the coolest part is that discs are going to be in and out of my bag all season, depending on what course we're playing. So it's going to be a fun transition, and I'll try and keep you all up to date every time something new goes in my bag and the disc that I'm jamming on all season long. It's going to be a great, great journey. Make sure you guys head to infinitedisc.com. You know, throw what you love. Head over to whalesacks.com. Support me through Upper Park. Support me through everything. Just support disc golf. It doesn't even have to be me in particular. Go support people who are supporting disc golf. Go support your local shops. See you in the next one. Thank you so much.